the Banyan tree, the sacred tree of the Vedas. What can we learn from studying this sacred tree? That's what I'm going to be talking about next, so stay tuned. Hey everyone, I'm Brian Easterday and welcome back to Eye of the Storm Astrology. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the sacred banyan tree, also known as the peepal tree. And this is a tree that in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna in chapter 10, when he's describing all the different qualities of himself, he says, among all trees, I am the banyan. So what can we learn from that? That's what I'm going to be getting into. But before I do that, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because I don't want you to miss out on any videos that could be helping you turn your challenges into strengths. So in the Gita, as Krishna is talking to Arjuna and he's going through and listing all these different qualities about himself, he says, among all trees, I am the banyan. So a banyan tree is a very interesting tree. And one of the things that you can see from it is that it will have roots that grow from its branches and branches that turn into roots. So it's a very interesting tree, similar to how like a yew tree will, like if you're looking in the Norse, like the runes with the rune yew wash. This is a similar kind of concept. But in the Vedas, it describes reality as being this giant banyan tree with its roots being in the air and its branches being in down below. And I actually came across this by looking up because I had a dream, and occasionally whenever I have a dream with like a certain, there'll be some type of symbol or some type of imagery in there that as I think about it, I will start getting realizations. I'll start getting lessons from it. And I had this dream about this like giant upside down tree. And I thought because it was upside down, it really stuck out to me as something that's odd because, obviously, you don't see trees with like roots in there. It's not a normal thing. So the next day I got up and I was thinking about it. And naturally it kind of hit me that the roots that this tree would be the metaphor for reality here, that the roots would be the source consciousness. That's why it's above, it's coming from above, and the branches being what's down below, what is the manifest reality from that. So when I got that, I thought that was really interesting. I was like, well, I should go look in any look into the mythologies and see what I can find. And then because I knew, in the Norse mythology, we have the Yggdrasil, and there's lots of different indigenous cultures that they have this mythology of some world tree. So I went to look to see if I could find any of them where specifically the tree is like said to be upside down. And then this popped up of the banyan tree in the Vedas, and obviously with the Vedic philosophy being my main focus, I thought that was really interesting because I'd obviously like read it, but without we don't have banyan trees in Kansas naturally, so that's something I was never familiar with. So I'd never actually like seen the tree itself and how it actually grows in that way, where it will have its roots that come from its branches and branches that will spring from roots. So when I actually went and looked that up and studied it more, I saw that I was like, oh, okay, that's really interesting. That's very similar to like what I was seeing. So what a few things we can learn from this. One, I'd like to just talk about the banyan tree itself, that you can actually see it's what's known as a keystone species in its ecosystem. So a keystone species is any species that is kind of like a foundational block or pillar to the support structure of that whole ecosystem. In other words, lots of other species will depend on them, whether that's anything from bugs, birds, reptiles, whatever it may be. And things will depend on them for, shelter, food, all sorts of different things. So being that the banyan or the palm tree has that role as a keystone species, I thought that was very interesting, that, Vish, or that Krishna, who is Vishnu, is describing himself as this tree. Well, what can we learn from this? Well, that Vishnu is the keystone species for all of us, so to speak. Vishnu is the source for all of us. It's the shelter. It's what nurtures us. It's, nothing would exist without source consciousness, without Vishnu. So this is a very similar thing. I think this is one of the reasons he, Krishna describes himself as being this tree, as well as, like I said, it has the, that whole element of the roots growing from the branches and the branches growing from the roots. It really has that theme of incarnation and manifestation and creation from itself, and, all those different things you can see. But in the Vedas, they say that there's 3 levels to this tree. So there are the roots, which is the source consciousness, Vishnu. Then that goes down, the self goes down, and it becomes branches of the tree, becomes individuations of consciousness, atmas, individual souls. Because when you think about like the branch of a tree, it's part of the tree, but it's not the whole tree, right? It's just a branch. And then on the branches, those then nourish and create, the leaves and the fruits that we see, which these leaves and fruits are manifested reality, our karmas, our actions, the things that we're seeing around us. Now, if we want to create a fruitful reality, one that nourishes all of us and that's beautiful, we have to water the tree. If you go to water a tree, you don't do it by spraying the leaves and the fruits. Like the nutrients doesn't go from the fruit into the tree and down to the roots. That's not how it works. It comes from the roots. So you water the roots. So likewise, if we're a branch on this great tree, and the leaves and the fruits that we bear are our actions, our reality, the life that we create, we want that to be properly nourished. So we need to pull our nourishment from the roots. But in this tree, the roots come from above. They come from Vishnu. So we need to look to that higher source, our higher self, to nourish ourselves, to bring that awareness in. And through that, we produce healthier fruit and, healthier results that we see in the world. Now, it is said that this tree produces like 2 different kinds of fruits, and I won't get into that now because that's more of there's like whole chapter in the Gita on that. So again, if you guys would like me to do like a live Q&A study where I'll go through and just like read each chapter of the Gita, and then we can do a live Q&A kind of breakdown of that. You guys can ask questions. If that's something you would enjoy, let me know in the comments below. But, in that chapter, it gets into the different types of fruits, and that if you eat from this type of fruit, it's going to produce this type of result. If you eat from this type of fruit, it's going to produce that type of result and that thing. But the main thing that I really wanted to highlight here is the purpose of watering the roots of your tree, pulling your nourishment from source, from Vishnu, in order to get the best results, the most nutritious results, and to produce the most beautiful fruits to enjoy. So that's going to wrap this video up. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know in the comments below, and be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So again, you don't miss out on any videos that could help you turn your challenges into strengths. If you guys need to contact me for consultations, courses, or for whatever reason, you can click the link in the description below to my link tree, and that's going to take you to my social media, email, all of those different things. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, by creating more awareness, we create more opportunity to be the best version of ourselves. I appreciate your guys' support, and I'll see you guys next time.